Okay, so let's still start on time. So let's still warm up first. Okay, so even if we're stretching our joints, we still actually want to warm up, especially if you're really trying to stretch yourselves out, we definitely want to warm up. Okay, so we're still marching on the spot and we'll do our usual a little more joint stuff. We'll see from there. Okay, so still tuck our chin down. Okay, kind of breathing out, rounding it back a little bit. Breathing in, try to arch it back. And so let's do about 3 times. Okay, so rounding forward, breathing out. Okay, and breathing in. Okay, maybe one more time, breathing out. Let's stop our feet for a second. We're just going to turn side to side. Okay, just and then we slowly incorporate the rest of the spine. So turning left and turn our shoulders as well, looking behind, and then other way. Okay, slowly see if you can turn our hips as well. So turn that shoulder, head, shoulders, and then the hips. And same thing other way, head, shoulders, and hips. Okay, and finally, let's move our legs as well. So head, shoulder, hips, and feet as well. So turn all the way. If you're a little bit stretch inside the trunk. And same thing on the other side, turning all the way and coming back to center. Okay, so let's go front to back of our head. So we're just going to shift our head front to back, so make a double chin, push it back, and push it forward. Only go as far as you feel comfortable. Okay, a little harder. Let's see if you can go side to side. And so you can put your fingers on the side of your cheeks so it's a target, and see if you can just push the entire head side to side a little bit. And so, yeah. Probably it's hard to do if you're not used to doing it, but you can do it for fun. Okay, and let's try to go a half circle. So I'm gonna go look one way, look down. Okay, once again, only go as far as you feel comfortable. Be gentle with anything in the spine. Okay, if you look up, try to bring your chest up a little bit so you're not just cranking on your neck. And maybe one more time, just in the other direction. Once again, bring our chest up as you look up. Okay, so let's tilt your head sideways, and we're just going to move our shoulders up and down, focusing on reaching downwards a little bit more. Okay, after 2 or 3 times, you're going to look down towards the armpits and do the same thing, feeling more of a stretch on the back, side of the neck rather, so back of the neck rather. And see if you can move the opposite shoulder a little bit more. Okay, same thing on the other side when you're ready, so tilting the head and then just moving up and down, focusing on pulling down the opposite side shoulder a little bit more. Okay, 2 to 3 times again. Once again, try to pull down more on the opposite shoulder. And coming back. Okay, so let's move the shoulders front to back now. So try to push it forward a little more. And try to squeeze it back a little more as well. You can have your arms also in front of you if you want to, or just try and do it with the shoulder blades moving, and then go in a circle. Same thing. Okay, so let's try to incorporate this line as well. So as you come up with your shoulders, try to bring your chest up as well. Okay, and as you go forward and down, see if you can round your shoulders a little bit. So very exaggerated shoulder circle. Okay, maybe 2 times each direction. You breathe in as you go up and breathe out as you kind of come down. Okay, shake it out a little bit. Let's do our arm circles. We're just going to rotate, still standing a little taller. Rotate our arms 2 to 3 times one direction and then 2 to 3 times the other direction. Okay, we're going to reach to the side, still drop the shoulders down away from the ears. Reaching out, see if you can reach straight to the side, so not quite forward, but try straight out to the side. Okay, and just try to reach out, try to separate your fingers a little more. You might feel a little bit of a stretch already in the upper arm. Okay, front to upper arm, and be just a little further back and open the hands as well. Okay, now try to see if you can just still keep reaching out to the side. Okay, but rotate, still keeping your shoulders down. Okay, same thing a couple times the other direction. So bodies are connected different ways. One of them is just front of the arm all the way to arm. Okay, and we're going to do inwards now. So we have our chest facing forward. You're going to reach inwards. Okay, feeling the tension in the chest. I'm going to put my hand in front of my stomach just so now I'm not turning my hand Okay, so my stomach faces forward, my chest roughly faces forward, but my arm goes in. Okay, see if you can compress the arm in a little bit. Okay, and see if you can move your entire arm from the shoulders. 1, 2, 3. Other way. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and same thing like so. So try to compress your arm into your chest a little bit first. Okay, and 1, 2, 3. Other way. 3, 2, 1. Okay, shaking things up. Okay, when you reach up first, then breathe in. See if you can reach up with your thumbs facing backwards. Okay, see if you can maybe side bend a little bit, or you can just think of reaching one side of the body a little bit higher. Okay, just kind of stay there for a second. Take a breath in, breath out. Okay, when you're ready, see if you can move the shoulders. Once again, in a circle, trying to go behind us a little bit more, or just reaching up a little more, depending on how tight you are. Okay, just try to keep reaching upwards. Yeah. Okay, shake things up. Okay, same thing other side. So reach up the arm, reach up, lengthening one side of the body, thumbs facing back. Okay, when you're there, just take away your limit rather. Take a breath in, out. Okay, when you're ready, see if you can just rotate your shoulders gently once again. Keep trying to reach upwards. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and shake it up. Okay, when you connect all the dots, this is when you go in a full circle. So we start from, once again, I'm trying to keep my trunk facing forward. Okay, I'm just going to reach inwards, compressing my arm in. Feeling the chest muscle contract. Try to smell my elbow. Try to get my arm beside my ear. And try to reach back. Okay, and slowly try to turn your thumb down, reaching backwards first. Okay, before you reach down, try to drop my shoulders, pull my shoulders down towards the ground. Okay, and then one time the opposite way. So reach back with your thumbs of palm facing back. When you close to reaching your limit, start to turn your palm outside. Still reaching backwards across the entire body. Okay, slowly go upwards. Okay, try to get my hand or arm beside my ear. Okay, trying to get my elbow, armpit closer to my face. And down again. Okay, and shake it up, and let's do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so go inwards first. So reaching downwards, reaching inwards. Get arm closer without twisting my spine. Get it closer to my face. Try to get my arm beside my ear. Reaching backwards, slowly start to turn your thumb down. Try to reach back. Okay, and then reaching down, dropping the shoulders as well. Kind of extending fingertips towards the floor. Okay, opposite. Reaching back. When you feel like you're close to reaching your limit, start to rotate your thumb out. Still reaching backwards. Reach back and up. Get it arm beside the ear. Get my elbow pit closer to my face. Still compressing the arm inwards. Drop down. Okay, so let's go on to the we're going to go a little more internal external rotation, so rotating the shoulders. Okay, so let's start off easier first. We're just going to have the hands out by the side again, not too high with the side, so a little bit lower. Okay, and just try to rotate your arm all the way without popping your shoulders forward. So the chest stays up. Okay, arms to side, lower this side. Actually, just try to rotate. You can start from the fingers, the wrists, the elbows, and the shoulders. Try to just get your thumb pointing back more without your shoulders popping forward. So apply a little bit of force to rotate in. Get it opposite. See if you can get your pinky towards the ceiling a little more. Okay, and same thing, rotate from your fingertips all the way up to your shoulders. Okay, without slouching forward. So keeping that chest up. Rotate the other way. Okay, check it out. Okay, elbows beside the body first. Okay, just go back and forth a few times. See if you can push that thumb back a little bit more. Okay, and see if you can get your shoulders up. And once again, see if you can reach down your arms before popping your entire chest down. So just give it a couple of go. Okay, so now to make it a little bit harder, if you have a wall, that would be good. You can kind of lean into the wall a little more. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Hopefully a little bit more clear. If you don't have a wall, that's okay as well. So you just want to do a kind of a roll, kind of squeeze the elbows in, but at the same time, see if you can get your hands a little bit closer to the so we make a W shape. So we try to not like lift your hips off the floor. You're not trying to over arch it back. So just try to stay relatively still, and you just try to get closer. It doesn't have to touch. And breathing out. In, let's do about 5 times. See if you get your hand a little bit closer. 3. And don't try too hard. Anything with the shoulders, don't just high effort. Don't go to maximum effort. Shoulders is easy to hold something. Okay, shake it out. Okay, and we're gonna rotate, turn sideways a little bit so that kind of chest facing kind of one way, the elbow kind of faces the same. So I went from my back on the wall, turn it sideways, and you just want to reach down again, but this time with a free hand. Just apply gentle pressure downwards. And back up. So 2. Go a little further if you want to. Once again, don't push too hard with the shoulders. But we're working on what we call internal rotation. That's when you kind of reach kind of behind your back to put on the coat. That's internal rotation. 3, 4. So we're using the walls that we're not trying to get range of motion from someplace else. We're trying to move the shoulders. That's on the shoulder joint itself. So a lot of times we may kind of do this sort of thing. We're really trying to focus on this part by kind of anchor ourselves. Okay, so let's try it on now. So once again, back to the wall, turn sideways. Same way with my chest. Reaching down a little bit first. And if anything hurts, don't push it. Just go for own kind of comfortably uncomfortable limit. A little bit of pressure there. Just go to palm, feel a little bit of a strength. So we through it easily. Just wipe down. Okay, so there could be different reasons why you might have trouble moving out your arms. One of them could be really the shoulder itself. So things like maybe a frozen shoulder, where the actual joint itself is kind of stuck. So if you can kind of move it, at least to maintain that, and might be better in the long run. Okay, so let's back to the elbow. So this one, you're just going to point your pinky forward, okay, reaching up towards the face, shoulders, turn all the way around, down. Really try to reach as far forward as you can with your pinky, and still keep trying to reach in the pinky to the shoulders, and then opposite. Really try to reach towards the thumbs. Okay, going down, keep reaching backwards to the thumb. Okay, maybe one more time. Really turn and up. Okay, and really turn forward and down. Check it up. Okay, let's go to the wrist. Okay, so let's take it simple. We're gonna just brush a wall or paint a wall, leading of our wrist. Okay, so imagine you're moving through water, very thick water or syrup rather. Your hand is hard to move your hands through. Okay, you try to drag your knuckles down. Okay, and try to go upwards. Okay, so you have a little bit of internal kind of tension. Okay, and same thing going side. So see if you can really push your wrist out. Okay, and try to really push your wrist together first. Okay, and your knuckles are always kind of trailing behind. Okay, last one a little hardest. Okay, you can try to push your wrist up. really push your wrist out, then keep your knuckles kind of stays in the same place. So imagine your knuckles are stuck on an imaginary wall, okay, and your wrist is just going around it. Okay, let's try the other direction. Okay, we try to move your wrist around that imaginary point. Okay, shake it. Okay, let's put the fingers. Okay, so let's just go in a circle 1 or 2 times in each direction for each finger. Okay, ring finger. Okay, and find the pinky. Try to pull behind the back of the hand rather. Okay, and let's bend the ends of our fingers. Okay, starting a smaller motion. If it feels comfortable, see if you can squeeze it a little harder. Okay, now I'm gonna make a couple of wave patterns. So make a upside down L, close the fingers, okay, and then rolling the fingers back up. Okay, and 2, let's do about 3 times, and 3. Okay, let's do the thumbs as well. So to bend the kind of the closer joints, and then the end joints no more, and then try to pull something up. Okay, 2 and 3. The opposite. Bend the ends of the thumb first. Bring your thumbs in. Extend the end joint and come up. Okay, so a little bit of a wave, I guess. Okay, and then the finger, the opposite. So I was going to make a cat claws, close the fist. Okay, and try to extend the ends of the fingers first, and come back up. Close the tips, close the hand, and bring it back up. One last time. Fingers, palm, extend, and shake it a bit. Okay, let's go back to the spine. Okay, so let's go in a little bit of circle. So once again, we're going to focus on the center of our chest. Okay, we're going to bring your chest down a little bit. Bring it sideways over one foot a little bit. Drop one of the shoulders. Lift your chest up and over on the other side. Keep bringing it back down. Once again, be gentle with these things. Okay, and one time other one. So bring over one foot. Shoulders down. Lift that one up and over. Okay, and down over that foot and come back. Okay, and shake it out. Okay, let's go a little lower into the hips. Okay, that's our usual hip circle. So let's try to rotate, maybe just one circle in each direction first. Okay, and then we'll change the hips a little bit. Okay, so now let's try to point our toes out a little bit. Okay, and see if you can once again do just one circle all the way around. Okay, now toes pointing a little bit more inwards, and you might feel more of a different kind of stretch or feeling inside the joints. Okay, and once again all the way around. Okay, let's make it a little harder. Let's widen our feet a little bit more. Okay, let's shift one way first, pushing one way and pushing hips back. Okay, and we're just going to go shift side to side, feeling more stretch inside of our leg. Go a little further, a little bit lower. As it feels. Okay, and let's try. Also try to get your toes kind of pointing maybe more inwards. Just a little bit different feeling. Okay, time. Okay, let's back up, back in to the center. Okay, probably should have done this one first, so we can do this down. Let's try to see if you can push the hips back. If you put your hands, your fingertips, so thumb on the belly button goes straight up. Try to put your fingers where our hip joint pretty much is. See if you can push it back until your fingers get squeezed. Deep breath in and out. Okay, let's do about 3. Okay, this time let's try to put one leg slightly up, so just kind of lift the heel up on one side. Okay, let's see if you can imagine so the leg that's up, imagine you're trying to rotate it onto the center. So it looks something like this. Okay, so you try to fold yourself, so the opposite hip folded onto the straight leg. Okay, so and time. We're trying to pretty much internally rotate it. This is what we're doing. Okay, let's try the other side. So lift up the other leg, and then leg on the side that's up. We try to fold that pelvis over onto that straight leg a little bit while pushing the hips back. 2 and 3. Okay, shake it out. Okay, let's just try to rotate that entire leg. So turn in and turn out, moving from the hip joint. Okay, at the end range, sometimes you might feel a little bit of a cramp. Okay, don't push it too far. Okay, but do try to reach a little bit towards the 2 ends. Okay, and same thing on the other leg. Rotate in, rotate out. Once again, nothing moves except for the leg. Okay, next one, let's move the hips a little more. Hold it onto your wall or hold it onto the chair. Let's swing the leg back and forth. Important thing is don't move the rest of your body. So you can put one hand on the stomach. If you feel like the clothes are moving underneath your fingers, then you're moving more of your spine. Okay, so we want to be moving more of the leg, especially the hip joint. So it's trying to don't feel anything moving underneath your hands and focus on moving from the hip joint. Just zoom in maybe a little bit. Maybe right here. And so I like to breathe out as I push back. So breathing out kind of tense on my abs a little bit. So that keeps me from overextending myself. And that's the same thing on the side. You can turn around like this. Still kind of moving out. Kind of glute squeezing. Let's go to the front a little bit more. So we're trying to once again keep everything still. And just trying to lift up so you might feel a stretch behind. And let's do the same on the sides. Upwards, 1, 2, 3. So when you combine a little bit of stretching with a little bit of because sometimes we have trouble lifting leg because we are try to stretch it out and we try to bring ourselves into that chair. Good time for a little sitting break as well. Let's just do our usual hamstring stretch. So sitting far enough so that they can be straight on the floor. Let's hold on the chair as I lean forward. Let's rest the neck as well. Sometimes we crank our head too much. So squat deep breath in and out. Just about 3 times. See if you can roll the toes towards the ceiling a little more, towards the south. Switch legs. Lean forward, rest the neck, tucking the chin in. Deep breath in and out. Same for about 3 times. Let's try to pull our toes towards ourselves. And coming back. Okay, so now that we kind of stretched out a little bit, let's try to pull it up a little more. So standing, going back to standing. You still hold the chair. Something like that. If you do hold something, so you can press that on a little bit. So maybe I'll put it in the same move. Okay, so we're going to try to still lift the leg up, but before you do it, let's try to press down lightly on the chair on one hand and both hands. Okay, let's try to See if you can try to lift it up a little bit, engage faster to the front, and back down. Okay, once again, nothing moved except for that leg. Okay, bring it out, so I spruce it up. Okay, one more time, and through. Okay, so that kind of helps us to apply to remember that we want to lengthen this back part because we're doing something active rather than just kind of hang on to that back muscle without consciously pulling ourselves into it. Okay, so let's do the other side. So once again, lightly press down the chair, stay tall, breathing out. 1, 2. Try not to round forward either. This time, and 3. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, we'll do the same thing on the other side. So let's stretch it out first. Let's see if we can. Our usual stretch with running forward, running back. Okay, still trying to bring. Imagine sitting up in front and pulling the front of the pelvis up a little bit. Try to see if you can push the back leg back. So you feel stretch here. Okay, widen the stance if you need to. Okay, press the chair. Deep breath out. Okay, try to almost take as big of a breath as you can. Imagine breathing into your pelvis. You can feel a bit of stretch on this side here. So there's a muscle that goes from the kind of inside of the leg out to the spine. So when you stretch it out, take a deep breath in, your breathing will actually try to help you expand that stretch it out. It usually gets pretty tight when you sit up. So that is called this psoas muscle. Okay, and same thing on our side. Just for the mention, everything faces forward, so both toes are pointing in the same direction. Okay, lift your front of your hips up. Okay, push it forward a little bit, or push it back leg a little further back. And once again, try to see if you can take a deep breath in. Imagine breathing into that bottom part of our trunk. Take 3-5 breaths. Just one time. So let's try to pull ourselves into a little more rather than just using our body. So leaning forward, we're just going to try to drive the heel back, okay, without rounding us in. Okay, so just push back, hold. Okay, 3 times, 2. Okay, one on side, and you try to reach backwards. Okay, same thing on the side. So leaning forward slightly. See if you can reach back and up to breathe in at the same time as you push back. Shake it out. Okay, so let's go to the side a little bit and we'll combine with the flexion. So this is the one where you're stepping up and over. Oops, wrong way. Okay, so we need to reach backwards first. Once again, nothing moves except the leg. Okay, you're going to bend the heel up a little bit. You can lift the knee up to the side. Once you reach your limit, point your foot down. Try to see if you can reach up a little more. Okay, and keep bringing it up to the center or the front rather, and then coming back down. Okay, that's the same thing but opposite. Just clear that. So see if you can pull your ankles up, lift the knee up as fast as you feel comfortable, staying tall. Bring out to the side. Okay, when you reach your limit, drop your knee down slightly and see if you can push it out to the side while rotating your entire body. When you reach that limit, turn your foot upwards. You can try to kick someone behind you. Okay, and keep kicking that person behind you as you bring your foot or the knee closer to you. And back down. Okay, check it out. Be surprised to actually reach up the knee and ankles first, but that's okay. We do this as a warm up for those areas. Okay, and the other leg, same idea. We're gonna go from the back first. Curl one knee, lift it out to the side. Okay, when you reach your limit on the hip, drop the foot down and see if you can still keep pointing it sideways, but lift the knee up higher. Just hand up to help if you need to. Okay, try to bring it in front and keep trying to lift it up a little higher, staying tall. And back down. And do the opposite. Try to point your toes up. Bring your knee upwards as high as you can. Bring the knee out. When you feel like you reach your limit, lower knee in a little bit. Try to get a little further out again. When you reach that limit, turn the foot to face it backwards. Drive the heel back. Start squeezing the hips. Forward downwards towards. Bring your knees together. Okay, back down. And shake everything else. Okay, so that's it. Have a seat, and then we'll do the knees and ankles. Okay, so this one you can either hold the bottom of your leg. You can, if your arms are longer, you can also just hug it like so. Either way is fine. Okay, so let's try to just extend and then the knee. Once again, we're kind of holding ourselves into a stretch. So you probably feel tight, you might feel a stretch just behind the knees. Okay, let's do about one more time. Okay, we add a rotation of the foot and the lower leg. So we're going to turn your foot out, so your toes out as far as you can go. Okay, and try to straighten out the leg. Okay, turn things in while moving from the knee upwards. Okay, and keep trying to point, turn your toe in while you bring the knee down. Okay, one more time, turn the foot and the lower leg out. Straighten as much as you feel comfortable. Turn your lower leg and your ankles in, your foot in, and down. Okay, check it out. Let's repeat on the other side. So let's just straighten it first. You can feel stretch. Then, so we're pull ourselves into stretches, not just kind of passively go there. Okay, one time. Okay, turn the toes out. Extend the knee, the leg. Turn the foot in, and lower leg in a little bit. Then, okay, rotate out again. Up. Turn things in. And check it out. And we'll go back to the ankles. Okay, so this time try to see if you can hold your shins. Okay, so don't let anything move from the ankle up. Okay, and you're just trying to draw circles with your toes. Okay, but see if you can apply a little bit of pressure to just rotate further out. Okay, and don't let your lower leg move. Okay, just 2 circles in each direction, so don't go too fast. Just try to see if you can draw a bigger circle all the way. Okay, and same thing on the other side. Once again, don't let your entire leg rotate, just the ankles. Okay, once again, apply a little bit of force where you feel a little tight. See if you can reach into those spots a little more. And change your direction when you're ready. Okay, when if you're expanding the shin, you can feel when your lower leg rotates. Okay, and then pause. So we have started with the foot first. So imagine trying to grab something with your toes and your foot. Okay, so don't just scratch with your toes. See if you can actually make your foot shorter. So imagine there's a suction cup in the arch of your feet, and just trying to grab something with that area, and you should feel tension in the arch. Okay, so it'll be a little difficult if you're not used to it. Flat feet. If you have high arches, you might actually be, you don't actually need to do too much of this. Okay, so now the opposite. Let's try and imagine making our feet longer. Okay, and try and lift the toes up as well. So see if you imagine reaching out and up. So over, I guess reaching forward with your toes and then upwards. Okay, a little more difficult. See if you can try to push your big toe inwards. Okay, so if you have bunions, this might be a little difficult. Okay, but see if you push it out. So I push it inwards around the big toe. Okay, and then do the opposite. See if you get your pinky or your small toes to reach out to the side. So I probably should zoom in a little bit, but I don't think we want to look at my feet. So let's try to imagine that. Okay, finally, let's try to keep all the toes there. Okay, but try to lift just your big toe off the ground. Let's also draw circles with the big toe. So try to push your big toe inwards, lift it up, in, okay, out, and try to keep the rest of your toes on the ground. Okay, change the direction if you want to. Okay, opposite. Let's try to keep the big toe there, and try to lift the rest of your toes up. Okay, try to spread them out, and then before you put it back on the ground again. Okay, and opposite, try to reach them out first, and then try to lift it. Okay, and back in. Okay, so once again, the idea is that we should move. How a joint stays heavy is healthy is by moving it. Okay, so our toes and the feet actually there's lots of joints inside. They're small, but because we're so locked up in shoes all the time, they kind of get stuck in kind of one position, and we want to move everything as well. So sometimes we're stuck with the hips going outwards. Like myself, I tend to do this more. So I really need to work on rotating inwards. Could be different for someone else. Okay, so let's shake it out. I think we have about 1 more minute. Okay, so let's take a couple of deep breaths in and out. Okay, so let's just try to put a hand on our stomach. Okay, and let's try to relax your shoulders. Okay, take a deep breath in. Try to breathe into that stomach area, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Just trying to slow down our breathing a little bit. Okay, you're breathing a little bit deeper. Okay, make it a little bit lighter as well. So the air going into your lungs should be very gentle moving in and very gentle moving back out as well. Okay, and that's all the time we have for today. So thank you for coming, everyone. Hope everyone have a great week and see everyone next time. Have a good night. No problem. Bye-bye.